of terrorism, technology and national security has forged a network not only of police and spy agencies, but of private companies with extraordinary capabilities the country knows little about. Cracks opened into this hidden world of hacking and surveillance when the world's most notorious hacking company's secrets were spilled by WikiLeaks. It was revealed the Australian Federal Police had used its services to spy on potential targets. An investigation by 7:30 has unearthed a number of private Australian companies selling spyware here and overseas, including one that claimed the Australian Defence Force as a client. Connor Duffy and Lisa Main report.
In quiet Australian suburbs right across the country, some of the nation's most secretive companies ply their trade in spyware. They sell technology to governments around the world that's so powerful it can turn your computer into a recording device, access your most sensitive information, or even track your movements.
The private surveillance industry is massive. It's one of the few sectors that continually posts significant growth compared to others.
The private sector have got to be critical key partners in the development of this sort of technology. You know, they play a vital role, they're able to do development, and the government just doesn't got enough staff to be able to create these sorts of things.
I think we should be really concerned with the outsourcing, effectively, of the state's military-industrial complex, if you like. In addition to the sort of normal national security shroud that gets thrown over some of these things, you've got commercial in confidence.
Little is known about exactly what technologies are being sold and to whom, but the thick walls protecting this industry were knocked flat when a hacker breached the defences of the world's most infamous spyware company, HackingTeam, which is based in Milan, Italy.
Well, turnabout's fair play. Some of the most elite hackers in the world got hacked.
The company's most famous product is attack software called Remote Control System that infects and tracks a target's computer or smartphone.
Rely on us.
The software allows for HackingTeam to basically infect people, infect them in the sense of put a virus or malware on their computer, and then essentially have full access to the computer. They can do all sorts of things. They can download files from the computer, they can upload files to the computer, they can monitor all internet traffic.
Well, they appear to not have a particularly high moral threshold when it comes to choosing some of the client regimes that they work with. Their fourth largest source of revenue comes from Saudi Arabia, which has a horrific human rights record. They've worked with the UAE, they tendered and ran demo software to a Bangladeshi death squad. It's hard to imagine some of their customers having a worse human rights record.
After HackingTeam's security was breached, WikiLeaks published more than 1 million of the company's emails. Buried in that massive data dump are rare glimpses of Australian companies that trade in secrets. This is the Perth base of Providence Australasia, the Australian offshoot of a bigger company based in England. It's made up of retired Special Forces soldiers. In November 2012, the company's Australian representative, Matt Jamieson, wrote to HackingTeam on behalf of agencies in Australia and New Zealand. HackingTeam was delighted Providence was bringing a brand new customer.
The client Providence is representing in Australia is the Special Forces from Defence. Apparently this client is already using Gamma's solution, but is not happy at all with it and asked Providence to contact us. Time for us to defeat the competition.
Another email a month later shows HackingTeam was keen to meet with Defence and nudge out rival spyware company Gamma.
I just wanted to follow up on Australian Special Forces as I am currently organising the agenda for February.
It certainly seems Providence wasn't just boasting about working for Defence. Government documents show Providence billed the Defence Department $70,000 for multimedia surveillance in July this year. In a statement, Defence said it had no record of a meeting with HackingTeam. It also said it had no direct relationship with the company. It said it engaged Providence for equipment and training from 2010 to 2015. What the emails do prove is that the business wasn't all one way. Providence sent HackingTeam a brochure demonstrating they could do break-ins to secretly plant video and recording devices. These black ops skills included lockpicking as well as tracking targets, and the Italian company was very interested.
The training they provide is unconventional, focusing on military intelligence and surveillance. Premium price here is mandatory.
Providence did not respond to repeated requests to discuss the emails, but information about its Australian arm was removed from its website after 7:30 began making inquiries. Another company in touch with HackingTeam is Criterion Solutions, based here in Canberra. Emails show Criterion contacted HackingTeam, who believed Criterion was representing Australian domestic spy agency ASIO.
Hi Marco, Australian customer interested in our product is ASIO.
I just wanted to ask you some questions about HackingTeam.
Okay.
In a phone interview, the company's sales rep, Michael Sinkowicz, said negotiations didn't progress beyond a non-disclosure agreement.
And is it correct that your client was ASIO?
I genuinely don't know where that's come from.
In the past year, Criterion Solutions has received over $5 million from Defence for surveillance aircraft, communication devices, multimedia network equipment and electronic hardware.
Their speciality is drones. So they import drones out of the Nordic countries and sell them into defence. They're particularly good technology. They have great range, great capability and are very stealthy.
The company also boasts it is the exclusive Australian supplier of QRC technology. Among the products QRC sells is Stingray technology, fake mobile phone towers that can suck all the sensitive information out of a smartphone.
It's a technology that law enforcement can use that sits in between a real cell phone tower, mobile phone tower, and an individual's mobile phone. The FBI has been very adamant about their use. The FBI says that they purge that data after the end of every operation, but in countries like Australia, where there is no limit on how long data can be retained by law enforcement, it creates a circumstance where there's a trove of data that is now subsequently searchable and can be acted upon.
Criterion says it only sells QRC products to phone companies wanting to test mobile phone networks and denied it could be used to target cell phones.
I've never heard that other than something that unfortunately killed Steve Irwin. I've never heard the term Stingray in technology.
This quiet suburban home in regional New South Wales is the registered address of another Australian company called Miltech that pitches itself as one of the most high-tech in the country. As well as doing deals with Australian Defence, its director Kevin McKinnon sought to position himself as a middleman between HackingTeam and Indonesian intelligence, which was already using a number of his services. Emails show negotiations between Miltech and HackingTeam fell through, but HackingTeam wanted to take advantage of the rift between Australia and Indonesia, sparked by revelations Australia tapped the Indonesian president's phone.
The Indonesian government is trying to achieve a sort of intelligence autocracy because it deeply mistrusts the so-called Five Eyes. So the Indonesian market is ready. It is willing to build up its own intelligence apparatus.
HackingTeam declined to be interviewed, but in an email defended its products, saying the only illegal act was when it itself was hacked.
HackingTeam requires clients to affirm that HT technology will not be used for military or illegal purposes.
The leaked HackingTeam files allow a glimpse of a rapidly expanding industry that wants secrets, but would prefer to keep its own. It's impossible to know exactly what all this spyware is being used for. While it may all be legal and potentially crucial for law enforcement, it's feared oversight may not be keeping pace with what are incredibly invasive surveillance techniques.
In the Australian case is that you could have an agency who has a legitimate warrant to conduct the operation. They collect the data, But once the data is collected, it would be very easy for that data to be retained indefinitely and then subsequently shared.
HackingTeam are getting singled out at the moment because they got so comprehensively owned and had effectively the company's DNA spooled out on WikiLeaks. But there are a lot of other outfits like them, and I suspect this is really the tip of the iceberg.
I think if those outfits are legitimate, and by legitimate, not just corporately legitimate, they have good people that work there, they're not pseudo-criminal outfits, I think we should have some degree of comfort. But as a society, we need to have that discussion.